edition of the Sports Court. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show.
Wow.
Anthony, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing pretty well, dude. Beautiful Tuesday out here. Obviously missed you guys yesterday, but had a nice Father's Day, back home. So it was nice, dude. I'm feeling good today.
Let's hear about the Father's Day.
So Sunday morning I get home, so I get home early for Father's Day breakfast. I make my parents French toast, sausage. My dad had already made the bacon.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't had French toast in a while, too.
Isn't it unbelievable? I know
dude,
we've talked about it.
Honestly, and my mother bought, I forget what bread it was, but it was like
challah?
thicker. It might have been challah bread.
Yeah, challah's the best for French toast.
Dude, oh, God, it was so freaking good, Brian. And then, we hung out. I replaced some doorknobs around the house.
Wow, I didn't know you were into like the home improvement aspect.
Always. My mother bought.
We might have a role for you
dude.
at LA Barnaby if you're interested.
Dude, I could be like a general contractor type of guy. Yeah, dude, just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, why not? A little handyman.
And then dinner, Italian restaurant off the block, La Fontana. Brian, you would have loved it. Dude.
What's it called?
La Fontana.
La Fontana. Okay.
Yeah. Neighborhood spot, literally like up the block from me. Appetizer, dude. We get like baked clams with shrimp oreganata, soft shell crabs for appetizer too. So good, bro.
Wow.
Little Caesar salad. They make a table side. And then for dinner, I had rigatoni and vodka sauce with shrimp, and it was
Matthew his mouth is watering that you just said. The shrimp
dude.
And the vodka sauce is my favorite as well.
Welcome back, Cha-Cha Hombre.
And it was great having Matt in here. He was referring to it as a therapy session about the Yankees. We'll talk about it in a second, but a couple of things. First thing I wanted to ask, probably a stupid question, but I never had it or understood. Soft shell crab, like what does that mean? Like I don't.
So it's a specific type of crab. I'm not exactly sure the details, or if maybe they're just like they just shed their shell or whatever. I don't know, but their shell is soft enough where you don't de-shell, you eat the whole thing.
You eat the shell?
You eat the shell and everything.
Wow.
Dude. Yeah.
Okay.
It is absolutely delicious. It was just like in a
butter or no?
No, it was in a red sauce.
Oh, in a red sauce.
Yeah, it was served in a red sauce. So yeah, it's how they do it. I've had it too where it's like deep fried on a sandwich, also delicious. But yeah, and dude, in the red sauce, I mean, you can't. Oh, it's so good, dude. It's so good.
Dessert?
Cappuccino, and I got the cheesecake. Yeah, I got a slice of cheesecake because I was like, oh, my mother. I was like in the mood. Let's try it. Why not?
Was it tough to get through since it wasn't your mother's cheesecake?
Yeah, it was definitely different.
Yeah.
Definitely different.
Well, what would you say like the biggest difference is?
Honestly, my mother's cheesecake is like it's much more airy.
Okay.
This one was like really thick. It was like getting almost stuck to the roof of your mouth a little bit.
Okay.
So that was definitely the biggest difference.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a great weekend.
Oh yeah. Dude.
And yeah, I had a great meal myself, and you were kind of asking me about it yesterday. So we went to a Rezo, downtown Westport there across from Bar Taco. First of all, started it out with some hot sourdough bread sliced. Can't beat it. And we were sitting in the kind of, I guess you could call it the terrace area because they have like right down by the water outside, but it was a little hot, humid when we got there. So this is like an indoor-outdoor feel where, you have your roof over your head, but then the windows are open and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Nice little breeze. And then you could see the water, in the background. So that was great.
Beautiful.
Went with, I know this is probably going to surprise you, but went with a red sangria drink yesterday.
Nice.
Very good. Tons of fruit. Are you a sangria guy or no?
Yes. Love red sangria specifically.
Yeah, it is really good. So that was a good way to start.
Get it by the pitcher, Brian.
Yeah. We've got it by the pitcher before, let me tell you. But yesterday, just one, kept it light. It's Monday, full week ahead, all of that. And then had the orecchiette with the broccoli rabe, the sausage, the garlic and oil. Unbelievable. First class. So that was really, really good. You never can go wrong in a rezo. And I always want to mix it up when I go there, but that dish is so good. And I would say by far, me and Sam, our favorite like sauce, I would say with pasta. Like love vodka sauce, but garlic and oil. I mean, you just can always go for it.
I know you
like
always. Did you get the same thing, Sam?
Yeah,
she did. Wow.
Oh, yeah. And actually, Carm got the same thing as well.
Wow.
So they enjoyed that. And then my parents got the lasagna, which looked really good. You know how they like cook it in that, like, or bake it in that crock, that brown crock. So I don't know. I kind of like the rustic look.
That's cool.
Kind of nice. They really enjoyed that. And then her mother got the pasta rustica, which is like the marinara with the mozzarella and the eggplant and the penne.
Oh, that's so good.
So you can't beat that.
Did you do dessert?
Did dessert. So as you know,
cake.
Sam with the dairy allergy, so she actually made the cake in a funfetti layered vanilla frosting with the rainbow chip sprinkles. Tell me you could beat that, Tony. Tell me
that is so good, dude. I haven't had funfetti cake in forever.
You really like for a homemade cake. I think by far it's the best. It really is. And there's some, I know, like, sprinkles, sometimes it's like, do we need them or whatever, but there's something about those rainbow chip sprinkles. I don't know if it's the crunch that they offer. But that was unbelievable. So yeah, overall a great night. Got some good stuff for my birthday, including for a while, I don't think I ever talked to you about it, maybe Matt, but last year for my birthday, actually, or wasn't even, no, I just actually got it because I had a gift card, but whatever. I got a 60-degree, like a lob wedge.
Yeah.
And I was one of those things, I looked up online, saw it had good reviews, but like just went to the store and just picked it up and didn't like try to hit it or anything.
Right.
And I don't know, I think it's because it has like a graphite shaft and then it's like shorter than, what a normal 60-degree is. I don't know if it's meant for a women's set or a kid's set or whatever. And before this, I had this old relic, like rustic Callaway club that was great with like a lob wedge hitting at like 130. I would use it all the time. It was awesome. And then, of course, I was playing in Rhode Island. The ground was hard, and I literally snapped the club, but like just hitting it because like the ground was so hard. This is last year.
Oh my
goodness. Of course, it was all dry, not enough rain. So then I buy this, and I stopped using it because it was just everything was short, and it just not the right feel. So I finally got a full size 60-degree heavy shaft, heavy club head. So I'm looking forward to mixing that up with my repertoire. So nice to get that.
That's sick.
I got a couple Golf Galaxy gift cards, as well as an Amazon gift card. So plenty of room for more golf stuff. And I feel like this would crack you up too. So I never usually buy golf balls because it's like, you're on a course. You could go in the woods and find 20 if you just take a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had a gift card from last year. You know what? I'll just buy like the best balls out there, $50 for a 12.
Wow.
For a dozen. And then that was the TPX Callaways. And then the Bridgestones were like 35. So whatever, $85. 24 balls, lasted me like 2 weeks, all gone at this point.
Oh.
And I did notice a little bit of a difference, but it's so annoying. And I know you've seen it firsthand with my swing that everybody always said, it's ridiculous. It's so fast. 2 swings, the ball like cracks a little bit. I can't,
really?
And just because I swing so hard, like
what?
I can't avoid it. So it's like, as much as like, I kind of like the idea that, there's probably better flight with these balls. It's not worth it. I'm going to crack them in like 2 swings. So it's like, I guess whatever, but it's just annoying. But I guess, I mean, it is odd though, too, because you think about it, obviously I'm sure like a Bryson DeChambeau or whatever has unbelievable club head speed, but maybe, I don't know, their balls are slightly different than what the public buys. I don't know. But that is kind of annoying, but I guess, it probably, matters to some effect, but maybe, just because obviously I'm not on like the PGA Tour, it's not going to make that big of a deal, but a little odd for sure.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's not worth it.
No.
$50 for a dozen. Dude.
It was a gift card. I wouldn't have paid cash for it. That's for sure. And we do have a couple comments from your mother here.
Yeah, she said, "Good morning, fellas. Questions if we're talking food." Yes, Mom. I just talked to Brian, about our dinner at La Fontana, and then she says, "Happy birthday, Brian."
Thank you. Much appreciated.
La Fontana, one of her favorite spots, dude. Been going there forever. Oh.
Yeah, you can't beat that. What is it? This is actually going to bother me.
Chicken franchise.
Okay. No, Stanford. We actually have to do this one time. This is like your ultimate. It's like this restaurant belongs on Arthur Ave. It's a neighborhood place, been there forever. Everybody working there is like 75, 80 years old. You know, they've been working there their whole life. Polici's, Tony. Like when you have a spare second, look it up. We need to have a dinner there. I'm not kidding. It's like your classic, like the Sopranos are eating there type of deal. Like unbelievable. So we definitely have to do that. Matthew will be out of his mind. Like it's just like, you want the rigatone, eh? Like that type of deal.
That's so funny.
So yeah, we definitely have to try it out. That just came to my mind because you're talking about like a neighborhood place and whatnot. And I didn't get to ask you because I know last time, I guess, trying to think when that fell, but maybe it was, I don't know. I guess just, when you've been home, you said you've been able to watch the golf. So I was just curious, did you get to watch any of the U.S. Open this weekend?
Not as much as I would have liked to, because it was the Sunday, it was the Father's Day, so, but yeah, caught like the tail end, I guess, because dinner was early. Dinner was like 4:30, I think was our reservation. So after dessert and everything, of course, it was a little bit of an elongated dinner, but got home, chilled, watched some of it. I didn't catch like all of it though, because then we ended up going to the pool.
Okay.
But obviously I was following it, dude. And it obviously, it would, obviously I'm like, I didn't win, John Rahm didn't do well, dude. But, but it was definitely like, it was cool watching these players play this course, especially like, Rory McIlroy, for example, too. They were talking a lot about him and how he was preparing for the course. And how he was just like constantly watching video because he's never played here before. A lot of these players never played here, which was cool. And I saw, was it Smith that hit that ball in the cup holder?
Or Victor Hovland. I don't know. Hovland? Yeah. That was insane. I don't know how that happened. What did they? I didn't even actually. I think I was golfing when that happened. What did they actually do there?
I think he took a drop there,
but no penalty, right?
No.
Okay. And
so
that was
crazy.
Just someone like working at the tournament, like their cart.
It must have been. Yeah, it didn't specify whose cart, but I would imagine. It probably must have been like a grounds guy cart, and it was on the cart path, and this thing bounced like perfectly in the cup holder, which is ridiculous.
And we talked a little bit, a decent amount about it actually yesterday, just the tournament in general, but. Were you surprised? We remember the whole thing, on Friday when we were recapping Thursday's round where it's like, the USGA is complaining, the guy's breaking the scoring records, and then the winner's 10 under par. That was kind of like, you must have been pretty surprised that no one could do anything over the weekend. The guys that scored low did terrible the first two rounds. It was like vice versa. Guess it depended on what time you teed off.
What did you say on Friday too? You said it's more likely to go
the winner to be over 20 or over than under 10. Obviously, it was more likely that it would have been under 10, but it was 10 on the nose.
It was a push.
It was a push. A lot of it, because it's funny, and I know I've kind of alluded to this before, but whenever like the Yankees are going through a tough time, like I don't even listen to the local sports radio. I'm just all PGA Tour radio. So I've been listening to that a couple of days. And a lot of defense of Rory McIlroy not getting it done again, that he did all he could do, that he didn't choke despite, missing that 4-footer on 8 on Sunday. What was your overall interpretation of the way he played? Did you consider it a choke? Did you consider it, here he is, it's right there, and he can't do that extra thing to get over the top? Or do you think he played pretty well considering when you're comparing it to the rest of the field?
I guess a little bit of both. I did see him miss that putt, just on the highlights and stuff. But like you said, I feel like if he could have won, it was within his grasp, and he didn't take it. So to me, that's kind of a choke. Even though you played well or not, even though compared to everyone else, at the end of the day, you could have done better. You could have got it. Was within his grasp. He could have won and he didn't. So I would say, that's a choke in my eyes.
Yeah. And it's I don't know, they're saying it gives us more confidence, the next month, that he'll win at Royal Liverpool. I don't see it that way. I think it's tough enough for him to get to the point where he did, finishing second place, that I wouldn't be all that surprised if he missed the cut like he did a couple years ago at Royals, Port Rush, his home course, shot 80 the first round and missed the cut. I just think the Open is a whole other animal. And I guess the biggest thing, all week, or, over those course of the 4 days, he was pounding the ball off the tee. Some drives were going 360, 370, 380.
Whoa.
Very consistent. But the wedges, I guess they said that's what holds him back from winning tournaments, is that he's constantly 20 feet away from the hole, and he can never get it within that 5 to 10 foot radius. So I don't know. I just think it's going to continue to be a struggle, and I wouldn't really take that much good away from this tournament, because it's like, okay, you think about the 4-foot putt on 8 that would get him into the playoff, if everything was the way it was. But it's like down the stretch, we knew that he had to birdie a hole or two to make up for the deficit.
Right.
And Wyndham had bogeyed, I think 2 holes in a row down the stretch. But you saw the difference in that short game. Wyndham constantly was within 5 to 10 feet, constantly making putts. And, you have Rory, you think back to, the day one, he misses the chip. And I just feel like it's those little things. That's what's holding him back. And I'm not sure I really see that changing really soon.
That's tough, dude. You don't think he can improve?
I mean, it's like, but he's 33 years old.
Right.
Like, isn't this supposed to be the prime of his career? I mean, I guess, he can work on his chipping and stuff, but it's like in his approach game, but it's like, why hasn't he already done that? Like, I don't think this is a new problem. I think, this has been going on for a little bit.
Yeah. That's tough, dude.
What did you make of Wyndham winning and the whole story? And, do you think that he has a chance to kind of, go on a run here? I mean, I think it's like 2 of his last 4 starts he's won, because he won the Wells Fargo last month.
I mean, yeah, it's certainly possible. I mean, I guess for me, seeing him win, I guess didn't really hold as much weight as, again, like as if John Rahm or Rory or DJ or really anyone else winning, it seems. So I wouldn't say it's disappointing, but it's just kind of like, I'm like, good for him for sure for winning. But do I think it's possible? Do I expect that? Not really.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, I always talk about it. I just love the history of golf. And, and I want to just verify this, but I believe they said, the last 5 US Open champions have been first-time winners. And I just wanted to verify that. I want to say that's first-time major winners, but I just want to double check that. I'm going to look right now. So you had Clark, Fitzpatrick, Rahm, DeChambeau, Woodlands. Yeah. So all first-time winners, because Koepka went back-to-back in 2018 at Shinnecock. Do you make anything of that it's that like the last 5 US Opens, does that make you feel like winning a US Open is almost random, or do you think that it's really all just course dependent?
I mean, I guess to me, obviously, like for example, like this year, we're at a course we barely ever really have seen.
Yeah.
That's probably to me a big reason why it's, I guess, that random in terms of who wins. It's just kind of like the playing field, it levels out. And honestly, in my opinion, like that's what makes a great tournament, is that you go to a tournament and like everyone is at a level playing field where it really is anyone's game. I think that obviously boasts like an incredible challenge all around, and it gives a chance for these guys to rise up and win their tournaments, for the first time and everything like that. So, yeah, I like it. I don't know how you feel about it. All right.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I just hope that moving forward, and obviously, it's been a while, but like Jordan Spieth's out there, Rory McIlroy's out there, Brooks just won this year, but I just hope that we're not coming to a point in golf where somebody winning, I don't know, even if just because you're thinking about Jack's 18, like somebody winning 5 majors is like unheard of. I hope that we're not looking at a period of time moving forward where there's that much parity. I think, and nobody will ever be Tiger. Everybody says that relentlessly. But don't you think it's good for golf to have somebody that's like, kind of ahead of the pack and being hunted every week than have it be, well, this week it's Scotty's turn. Next week it's John Rahm's turn. Brooks after that.
Yes.
I just feel like that's so much better for the game than a different guy every time.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like it's better for almost any sport when even like a team or a guy goes on a run. You know, when someone is that good and paints a target behind their back, like, I mean, think about it. There's so many people that want to see that, and for for multiple reasons, really. I mean, like, again, you look at someone like LeBron James, for example, someone who is certainly talked about being the best basketball player ever, or if you want to do Tiger Woods too. But all day long, there's people on sports radio talking about LeBron James that want to watch him either fail or succeed. So because of that, they're going to tune in. And especially in golf, where something like that is so, I guess, like, it's not regular. It's irregular for someone to go on a run where they're just consistently good and consistently winning majors, consistently winning a lot of tournaments. That creates, certainly a lot more juice. And especially since, the last guy we kind of really saw that, I guess, was Tiger Woods, right? So,
yeah, I mean, I guess those 4 majors, and I guess it was the course of 3 years with Brooks, but it was so, abbreviated. Same thing with Jordan Spieth, same thing with Rory McIlroy. Every time we think we found that guy that could even somewhat resemble like a run like that, it just never works out. And, like 2 recent examples, Scotty Scheffler and John Rahm, both winning the Masters the last 2 years. Since those tournaments, obviously haven't won one. And I know Rahm's only had, 2 opportunities here. Scotty finished second, or not second, but third. I think it was third in this tournament. So it's just like, if for whatever reason, when they reach that point, it seems like they tend to struggle. I think that you could say the same thing about Colin Morikawa, winning the Open and the PGA, back to back like that. And then it's like, it seems like he struggled. And I guess like the only thing that I could come up with is why that seems like it's a repetitive pattern is the fact that there obviously is pressure, but then they put more pressure on themselves, and that makes them in hindsight, take a step back.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. And I just can't believe too that we only have 1 major left.
If you had to maybe pick someone in the pool of players now who could go on a run, like winning like consecutive majors, who do you think it would be?
Well, and I mentioned this yesterday, I guess I would have to go with Scotty Scheffler just because he is the model of consistency. I believe it's, and I can verify this, but I believe it's 17 consecutive tournaments he's finished in the top 12.
Wow.
So, he's not missing cuts. He's not blowing up and shooting 80 in the final round. So that's kind of my thought process. And I mentioned this yesterday too. I mean, obviously Brooks comes to mind. I don't know if you heard, but he was like complaining about the course, says he doesn't like it.
Really?
I think he finished at 1 under or whatnot, but it's like,
why?
I was saying, I mean, that sounds like a little bit of a like sour grapes, situation. So I was kind of surprised that he said that, knowing, so it was officially a tied 17th. But I mean, you look at his track record, and I know, last year was terrible, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty much every year, the majority of these tournaments, he's finding himself in contention. So that possibility is there. And maybe, next year when there is the expected merger between the 2 tours and he's playing more frequently, that could result, in him having more success. But like I said, I think Scotty is the safest bet. What's your opinion on that?
That's a good question.
I know you're a big Rahm guy.
Yeah, I know. But
then look at the last couple, what's going on?
It's tough. I mean, the way you talk about Scheffler, I mean, again, to be consistent like that, I think is something that's really like, again, something that's really tough to do in the PGA. But I don't know. For me, I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of Victor Hovland all season. I've picked him a couple of times to win some tournaments. He hasn't, but I don't know. I feel like he's always placed well. Again, like another player, I feel like I've rarely seen him miss a cut or really kind of blow up or blow a lead or something. Yeah, I would say Victor Hovland. He's young too.
Yeah, so I'm that is a good pick, and I feel like he's like 24. I kind of want to check that.
No, I think he is like that young, 25, 24.
So I'm looking at Scheffler. So the last time that he finished outside of the top 12 was October 23rd of last year, tied 45th at the CJ Cup. Since then, 3rd, 9th, 2nd, 7th, 11th, 1st, 12th, 4th, 1st, 4th, 10th, 11th, 5th, 2nd, 3rd, 3rd, 3rd. I mean, that,
Wow.
I don't know how anybody could match that. But see, Victor is a little more all over the map if you look at that. You know, obviously the Memorial win was nice, a top 10 at the Masters, but then tied 59th at RBC Heritage. No missed cuts though, right?
No.
I don't think he missed. Yeah, he hasn't missed a cut. You know, top 20 at the U.S. Open. Right. He won. That's weird how they put P. I've never seen that.
P1?
Yeah,
like
it's like
that
usually would just be first. Second at the PGA.
Yeah.
So maybe he's you know, due to win the Open Championship.
Yeah, dude, I could see it. I mean, you know, there was a lot of reports on him, like again, like having a great drive. Ironwork is where he kind of like suffered a little bit. But it seems like he's been improving upon that throughout the years. So again, a player I feel like he could just kind of go off, dude.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. And just early feeling Open Championship, Royal Liverpool for you.
Early feeling, my early feeling honestly is Rory. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna do it. Early feeling, but you know, we'll see what I think later in the week. Yeah.
But I know we could go in circles about this, but if you're that good, and we saw what happened last year at the Open, how is it that like 9 years is a long time? That's 36 majors.
I know, it's crazy.
So I don't, you know, maybe we see it. I mean, we've seen guys have, you know, long runs in between tournaments. So maybe we'll see that.
Yeah.
My early pick is actually, and I don't think this has happened too many times before, but my early pick is Cam Smith going back to back, because you think about the history of the British Open, and they're always, you know, burnt out fairways, wide open course. And then what do we always say? That you drive for show, you putt for dough.
Yep.
And I just don't think there's anybody that can go toe to toe with Cam Smith in his putting. You know, we saw him finish in 4th place here, you know, at the US Open, and you know, had a decent showing at the PGA Championship as well. So it just kind of seems like it would set up, and you know, he's an exciting player, and I look forward to him hopefully, you know, returning to the PGA Tour next year as well. I think he's a guy that, you know, we talk about the Rahms, the Schefflers, the McIlroys. You know, he's only 29 years old, and I just think, you know, we've yet to see the best out of Cam Smith. I know last year he won the Players Championship. You know, of course, he won the Open Championship. But I think he's got a lot more work to do here, just from the fact that he can make a putt from anywhere on the green. And, you know, we've seen, you know, Rory struggle to make these putts. You know, Scotty Scheffler is actually one of the worst putters on tour. So you would think that would bode well. And then in his major championships this year, he's improved every time. You know, Masters was a struggle, like I alluded to, +4, tied for 34th, but a 9th place finish at the PGA at -1, and then 6 under at this tournament. I mean, 6 under at a US Open, that's won some US Opens. So I think that's a good performance. So I look forward to seeing what he can do next month at Royal Liverpool. And I also look forward to tomorrow previewing Connecticut's own, Tony, the Travelers Championship.
Yeah, baby.
TPC Cromwell.
You're going, right?
Going on Sunday.
Yeah, dude.
That is going to be something, and I know it's a full field. So I definitely have to do my homework in that regard.
Who are you rooting for? Come on, dude. You need to make a sign for someone? Who are you making a sign for?
No. I'm not gonna make a sign, dude. Are you kidding me?
Whoa.
I don't know. I feel like, is it just me or are signs 2005? Like, I just feel like we're at a point where the sign, I mean, come on.
Yeah, especially in golf too, I feel. I mean,
we've seen it at sports, I guess, that, not at sports, but like at baseball or football.
yeah.
Basketball even is kind of strange.
Yeah.
But, and I'm just looking here, I mean, because I know he's talented and I would love to see him kind of return to his dominant ways. He's so young and he has so much ahead of him. I would like to see Colin Morikawa, return to his dominant ways. He's only 26 years old, and he hasn't even played in 100 career PGA Tour events. We talk about the model of consistency with these other guys, and then you look at Colin Morikawa. Going back, this is his last 6 starts. Cut at the Zurich Classic, cut at the Wells Fargo, 26th at the PGA, 29th at the Charles Schwab, withdrew at the Memorial, and then a decent performance here at the U.S. Open, tied 14th. But he's due to get it going. So that'll be interesting. I most likely, I'm not going to pick him to win this tournament. I mean, we've seen him at some other elevated events, miss the cut at the Phoenix Open and miss the cut at the Arnold Palmer. So for whatever reason, these bigger events, other than, I guess decent performances at the PGA and the Masters actually was a tied 10th, but the other tournaments for whatever reason have not won his way. So it would be an interesting storyline to see him come back. And actually, one last thing, Tony, before we switch to baseball here, just happened to think of this. How much did it hurt inside to see the collapse of Mr. Fowler on Sunday?
Dude, brutal.
5 over par.
Gut wrenching. I don't know.
Do you think he can come back from that?
Yeah. Anyone can come back from anything, dude. Come on, it's possible.
I know
he knows what happened,
but I mean, he's I think it's like something like he's qualified for going into this year. He had qualified for 2 of 7 majors or something. I mean, really had fallen off the map for a guy that was ranked so much higher in the world.
Yeah.
And he's like the same age as Rory and stuff. So you just, you think, oh, Rory's type. But I mean, Ricky Fowler, I mean, he's not winning tournaments and he's right there. He's in the final pairing. You would have thought he could do better than 5 over par. I mean, at least if he went even and lost by a stroke, whatever, but it's gut wrenching.
Yeah. It's tough, dude. Mike, I'm sure, was upset.
Yeah. No, and then he thought, but because he got it confused. Yesterday he was saying I didn't know Tony picked him. I would have picked him. Of course, he jinxed him or whatever. And I was like, I didn't say it, but I was thinking to myself, you didn't actually pick him. But when I asked to revisit the picks on Friday, you said, oh, well, yeah, let's go with Ricky. Just because the 8
because you made me pick someone else. Yeah.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying. But do you think he ends up winning a major? He's never won one before.
Yeah, I think he does. 32?
33.
33? Yeah, I think he can get one in.
Time will tell, Tony, but nothing.
Why, you don't think so? Yeah.
I don't know, man. Because we've seen him do this at other tournaments where Sunday is just a disaster.
Right.
Great early in the week. I mean, obviously, you open up with a 62, you're going to put yourself in a great place. I don't know if it's a mental thing, pressure. I'm rooting for it. I hope we see it. But and I think he can, be in contention.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately,
blowing.
A guy that he reminds me of is Luis Oosthuizen, Tony.
Wow, dude.
So
always a runner-up.
Yeah. So time will tell. But
whatever happened to Oosthuizen?
Live Tour.
And now he's not.
Well, he'll play. I think he'll play at the Open Championship. He just didn't qualify. I believe almost for the last couple majors. I just want to see if we have any news on Mr. Oosthuizen, who's now 40 years old.
Wow.
He withdrew from the Masters. And let's see what we have here. I don't think he played in the other tournaments, but obviously winning the Open Championship back in 2010 would get some automatic entry into the Open Championship next month. But let's see here. So he he had a 76 in the first round of the Masters, withdrew, and then we haven't seen anything from him since.
Jesus.
But maybe when if he's gonna come back to the PGA Tour, maybe
speaking of a tight one,
maybe he comes back. But I guess his world ranking is real low, so I would imagine he'll be in the field for next month's Open, but we'll see. Quite possibly the longest opening golf talk other than the Masters recap that we've ever had done.
Yes, dude, the Masters recap. What a time, huh?
What a time in life. There was so much promise for the Yankees, and I feel like it's a good segue. Scotty Scheffler was looking to repeat as Masters champion. Little did we know that Brooks Koepka would have a chance to win at Augusta, but it was seized by Mr. Rahm, joining the likes of Seve Ballesteros, Sergio Garcia. We'll see what Mr. Rahm will have at the Champions Dinner. We'll see you at Augusta in April. But let's go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it! Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game! Out of sight!
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeouts.
Too deep to left field. There it goes! See ya!
All right. So the Yankees, probably good. Being on my birthday, I didn't want them to lose like 10-0, and then to be pretty, I don't know, upset, I guess. Today. So it's nice that at least they didn't play today. We'll see how they disappoint me later on today. But for Tony's sake, he was not disappointed yesterday. So he is cheesing about a Mets 11-1 win over those Houston Astros. And that helps out the Yankees. They're both vying for that last wild card spot. I can't believe I'm saying that. Here we are, end of June.
Kind of ridiculous.
But how did we get there? What happened? Are you riled?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely a little riled. Listen, coming into this series, the whole narrative, at least the way I saw it was, like just the Mets starting pitching just has not been good, right? And you're coming around to the rotation again. You got Scherzer, Verlander coming up. Scherzer started last night. You really need these guys to just absolutely perform. I forget the stat they said yesterday. I think last year when the Mets scored 6 or more runs, they were like 53-4 or something like that. And this season, when they score 6 or more runs right now, they're 12-10. So I mean, it's dude. It's clearly it's just the starting pitch. Like our pitchers have been absolutely collapsing, no matter what lead that they either open up with or however much the Mets fight back. It just seemed that they find a way to end up losing. But you kind of came into here this game again against an Astros 39-34. Clearly, very good team. Hunter Brown, their starting pitcher, honestly came into this game looking pretty good too. And honestly, his first inning was good. Brendan Nimmo struck out swinging to start the game off, and he had Nimmo's number all game. That's what I was looking for. He was just striking out, swinging. It was sliders, it was fastballs. Nimmo was completely lost at the plate. After that, Marte grounds out. Lindor strikes out swinging. So a 1-2-3 inning to start the game here for Hunter Brown. And the Mets again looked like, really more the Astros looked like they were just kind of in their groove. Bottom of the first here. I'll talk when Brian comes back and I'll mention the tribute video for Verlander. But Scherzer responds with a 1-2-3 inning, striking out Altuve. Bregman grounds out, and then Tucker flies out to center. And things were pretty copacetic until top of the third. Actually, still nothing here. Leadoff batter Daniel Vogelbach, first pitch, absolutely jumps on it. Of high in the strike zone, 4-seam fastball, clocked it at 94, and Vogelbach absolutely jumps on it. That's right, I said Daniel Vogelbach hit a home run. I think his 4th of the season, solo shot, makes it a 1-0. game. After that, the Mets kind of get rolling here at top of the third. Brett Baty comes out, hits a single. Francisco Alvarez is a single to the left. Baty goes to second. Nimmo, who I mentioned, struggled all game, flies out to center field. But Marte is up now with 1 out. Singles to center field, which brings Baty in and Alvarez around the second. And then up after that, Francisco Lindor homers to right field, again, off another four-seam fastball, off a Hunter Brown, which obviously scores Marte and Alvarez a 3-run dinger, making it 5-0 now. And after that, Alonso ground out the shortstop. Tommy Pham walked, but then McNeil struck out. So that ended the inning there for Hunter Brown. But a 5-spot put up in the third inning by the Mets, which is great. And of course, at this point, Scherzer in the first 2 innings looked really good. Speaking of which, bottom of the third there, he gives up just a single. The Astros tried to answer, the leadoff single after the Mets score. We've seen this before where, Scherzer would typically collapse. But 2 lineouts and a flyout ends the inning there. We'll skip now to the top of the 6th inning. Still a 5-0 game. Max Scherzer still in the game too, most importantly here. But leadoff double by Tommy Pham. Absolutely digging Tommy Pham, actually. And I'll tell you a little bit why, but he's been hitting really well. Looks good in left field too. McNeil after that hits a single to center field, which scores Tommy Pham. Again, love that. Tommy Pham has some speed left, able to go from second to home pretty quickly too. So that was great, making it a 6-0 game. After that, Vogelback did end up striking out his next at bat, but McNeil, we don't see this a lot from McNeil. Steals second base, and then there's a throwing error by Maldonado. McNeil was able to advance to third, but then unfortunately after that, Baty grounds out for the second out of the game. They pull Hunter Brown, but then Alvarez flies out to end the inning there. But let's just see McNeil kind of showing some speed around the bags and elusiveness, getting a third as well. Now, at this point, let's go to the bottom of the 7th. Max Scherzer still in the game, by the way. Gives up, unfortunately, a solo shot to Diaz to left center, 405 feet off of a slider. Now, it's pretty interesting because coming into this game, Max Scherzer basically said he has he's completely lost with his slider.
Which is crazy. I mean, that's always been his bread and butter.
It really is. And other than this home run, which was unfortunately off of his slider, his backdoor slider was looking nasty. He was getting Bregman, Altuve, Abreu, all of them kind of just absolutely just fanning on his slider. So really up until then, until the 7th inning, it was really looking great. But after that solo shot, he settles down. McCormick grounds out and then strikes out Pena on a four-seam fastball to end the inning. And you're thinking, wow, what a great outing for Max Scherzer. He comes back out in the 8th, baby. Bottom of the 8th, leadoff walk, but then strikes out Maldonado. And Altuve grounds into a double play to end the inning. And that was Scherzer's night right there. And you would think at that point, it's a 6-1 game going to the 9th inning. Probably not going to be too much more action. Well, you guessed wrong. Top of the 9th here. It gets pretty crazy with Dubin pitching for Houston. Baty with a leadoff single. Alvarez strikes out swinging. Nimmo flies at the center. So 2 outs now. Marte singles to left, which brings Baty to second base. Lindor with a nice double to center field, which scores Marte and Baty, making it 8-1. After that, they actually walk Alonso. Lindor advanced to third on a pass ball. Pham, RBI single, brings in Lindor. And then after that, Vogelback with an RBI single as well. Alonso scores. Tommy Pham scores. McNeil's second right there. Brett Baty strikes out looking, unfortunately, at the end of the inning. But at that point, it's 11-1. And they bring in some no-name guy, Hartwig, to end the game for the Mets. He looked all right. I mean, he gave up a single, but then Salazar grounds out in double play, forces that. He walks Kessinger, but then Diaz grounds to a fielder's choice. Baty just takes to give it to McNeil over there at second, the out to end the game there. You look at the box score here. Max Scherzer seemingly, coming off of 2 starts. I think he gave up probably like 7 home runs his last 2 starts. Goes 8 innings for the first time as a Met. Gives up just 4 hits, 1 earned run off of that solo shot, only 1 walk too, 8 strikeouts, and I think he had 6 strikeouts through the first 5 innings or something like that. Threw 91 pitches too, so was incredibly efficient. His slider was looking great. Looked like he could locate his four-seam fastball at any point in the strike zone too. So he was looking absolutely ridiculous. And I want to say this is probably maybe the first time. It's definitely the first time this season where the Mets have only used two pitchers to win a game. Scherzer going 8. I mean, again, that must have been. I don't think Verlander's gone 8. I think his highest was just 7. Definitely the first time as the Mets this season to go 8 innings with their starter. Like I said, someone like Vogelback who had, I think, a season high 3 RBIs, I believe. Yeah, 3 RBIs for Vogelback. He was 2 for 5 with that home run. Only struck out once, which was nice. It should be interesting to see, what this does in terms of his playing time, because we know how much Buck kind of defended Vogelback to the media and how much they talked about him working on his swinging. And the reason why he didn't start at all for the past week or so was the fact that he was working on his swing. But hey, I mean, obviously it's good for the team. So I love that. Brett Beatty looked great at third base. He was 2 for 5. Alonso, I mean, 1 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout. Here on the bags once. That's decent. It's nice to see him back at first base. Tommy Pham, 2 for 4 with the RBI. I mentioned him. He also actually showed some great arm strength too in left field. I think there was a sharp line out to him. And he tracks the ball down and he whizzes it to first base to Alonso to keep the runner at first. Which is pretty cool to see that. I don't think I've seen really any outfielder of the Mets do that all season. Gun someone down from the outfield, or at least try to, and look pretty good at it. But yeah, obviously a great night for the Mets. I was saying too when you were out of the room, Verlander tribute video. Dusty Baker was out there. They gave him I guess they had a little ring ceremony for him and gave him his World Series ring there.
Did he seem a little choked up?
He was definitely happy to be there. You know? I don't want to say choked up, but it was cool. But, I'm sure, I just figured you'd be riled for the tribute videos, dude.
They're a big thing.
It's very important, dude.
I believe Jay had something to say about Vogelback.
Oh, my God. Did he really? He goes, is Vogelback back? Or is he still Vogel fat, he says. I mean, he's still a big boy, dude. I wouldn't say he's back by any means at all. But like I said, season high, 3 RBI night for him, 4th home run of the season. And he had another home run over the weekend as well. So I think it's the 2nd home run in 3 games. So I don't know. It's possible. Again, they say he was working on his swing. And you gotta give it to him. And the man struts the stuff out there. So
I feel like it's one of those things, though, without saying it, you're saying you're treading lightly.
Oh yeah, dude. And I understand. I mean, Hunter Brown is a very young pitcher. Certainly you would expect someone like Vogelback to be able to hit him too. Of course, Vogelback has to be able to hit anything, but it's not like, he's hitting dingers off Kershaw out there or anything. So again, tread lightly for sure.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. And then I saw over the weekend too, Vientos option down.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts there?
I mean, I guess it kind of seemed like an okay move, I guess. I mean, he's obviously not going to get looks in the field as much. Even though he did great at first base, I love that. But it's obviously tough to see because I feel like he's someone who can contribute offensively and defensively. And again, as someone who's supposed to be your future, it would be nice to give up to give him some more looks. However, the Mets are in a pretty precarious situation. Again, we talked a lot about this, I feel, where they kind of, obviously need to make strides to improve their team by the trade deadline. But at this point, are you going to be trading Alvarez or Beatty? No, they're your everyday players.
And I don't know if you mentioned this. Speaking of Alvarez, X-rays negative. Anything further that you've seen on that?
No. As far as I know, X-rays negative day to day.
So I mean, you're thinking because I was a little concerned, fantasy wise. But you're thinking maybe a couple days off, but an IL stint not likely at this point.
Unlikely, yes.
Which is a good thing, of course.
Yeah.
And then I know it's because obviously I'm in the same kind of situation where we talk about treading lightly. So what does yesterday do for you confidence wise in this team moving forward?
I mean, in this team, I don't know. I mean, they certainly looked sharper defensively. So that's something that I look at as a team aspect. I'm like, yes, that's good. They're going to need that. It's something that was kind of slipping a little bit. But most importantly, I think it's really the confidence I have in now Max Scherzer. I mean, again, like 8 innings, 91 pitches over 8 innings too. I mean, he was just so dialed in. And I think maybe, we're starting to see Scherzer realize that he doesn't have as much in the tank as he used to in previous years. Maybe because he gave up a lot of flyouts, 8 Ks over 8 innings isn't necessarily, a lot, especially for someone like him. So maybe he's trying to like adjust his pitching style to become more efficient and try and force flyouts and ground outs because it worked really well for him. He forced 2 double plays yesterday, and I said a ton of flyouts. So that's something that I think Scherzer had an issue with, in terms of kind of adjusting, I mean, it's past few outings. I mean, what was he doing? He was going to his slider. And he, he knew it. Bless you.
Thanks.
So again, that adjustment I think is huge. Like I said, when we started this segment, I mean, the Mets have been scoring so well. It's just the pitching that has been absolutely imploding. And if we get Verlander to go 8 innings tonight, I mean, and really save our bullpen even more, I mean, that just instills a newfound confidence, I think, in the rotation. You kind of have that, 1-2 punch back at the start of the rotation too. So that's something that I think the Mets were missing where, again, like you think of it last season, like that the rotation was feared. We had a great rotation. And like, especially the top 2, top 3 pitchers this season. I mean, who's afraid of Scherzer or Verlander, really?
Yeah.
So I think it's nice. It's certainly a statement outing for Scherzer, and it does give you some more confidence as the Mets progress through the season, which I think by now we're 7 games back of the Miami Marlins, dude. So pretty crazy. I mean, it's gonna take a lot for sure for the Mets to want to run. Like I said, Pham looked great. That scoring in the top of the third too, if early and like stringing along all those good hits, starting with a leadoff home run. And there's still a lot of confidence. The Mets should feel confident in their bats. You got Valdez tonight, who is certainly going to be a little bit more of a challenge. But again, if you scored 11 runs last night, why can't you score like 5 tonight?
Who's on the hill for the Mets?
Verlander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so Scherzer, Verlander back to back.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. Oh,
hell yeah.
Are you almost? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but like, are you almost surprised it didn't like just because he'll actually be pitching? Like, wait to do the tribute tonight.
Yeah, I guess so.
But maybe he didn't want to do that because he felt like it would mess up his psyche.
Routine. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, his routine. These guys are routine. Remember
Cole
getting tight.
Oh my God.
Opening day last year.
Bill Murray.
Yeah, Bill Murray.
Yeah, dude.
That is pretty funny though.
It is very funny. Did you happen to see the Astros jerseys last night? The Space City jerseys?
Can we get a look on those?
Sure. Pretty fresh, dude.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen those like before. Yeah. Those are pretty dope.
Prefer?
No, remember he's not coming back.
No, he's not.
But he has respect for Tony.
That's what he says, dude.
Yeah.
Which is nice to hear, dude. But yeah, those are them. Space City. I mean, the font is kind of cool, kind of alien like.
Yeah.
They definitely look, dude. They look pretty cool last night, I will say.
Yeah. And they've always, obviously, despite my distaste for the organization,
they've had great jerseys.
Yeah. No, they always. I love the orange ones.
Yeah, the orange ones are so sick.
Yeah.
And the throwback ones, like from the 70s, the one that I have.
Or even
sick,
the ones,
dude.
I don't know, from like 2004 with like Billy Wagner.
Oh, yeah, dude. Craig Biggio.
Carlos Beltran.
Yeah.
06, the strikeout, all of that.
By the way, Jay says that Vogelback is a flash in the pan, dude.
He is.
Yeah, probably. We'll see. Jay's doubting Vogelback now. I feel like he was all for Vogelback at the beginning of the season too, and
yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the Mets game tonight in a second. Yankees, off yesterday, back in action today. And
Are you excited?
Well, I was telling you yesterday, it was the Matthew therapy session for about an hour yesterday.
How is he doing?
No, he's fine. He was kind of, walking me through it. But it's just, some of the things that me and you have talked about for years and years and years, just, accountability and not changing things and guys, like I pretty much said, position player wise, other than Judge, we'll give Volpe a pass because he's a rookie. We like Harrison Bader. Everyone else, I mean, in no way, shape, or form, like there's no reason why they need to be here. You look at all the averages. I think it's LeMahieu, Stanton, Rizzo, and Donaldson, and maybe Torres too, all hitting under 200 since Judge went on the IL.
Because they were talking a little bit about this on Rick and Dave too. Like, how could it be that just without Judge, like all these guys just do so shitty? Like, how do they perform so poorly?
Yeah, and I get that. Yes, they are pitched too differently when Judge is in the lineup. And I guess I don't know if it's just because at this point in his career or it has to do with the fact that he's hitting behind him, whatever, he's put in a good situation. But it's like all of like you shouldn't just completely fall apart. Like maybe you won't be as good, but the fact that you do absolutely nothing, and I'm talking about Rizzo and Stanton and LeMahieu, when Judge is isn't in the lineup, I mean, I kind of feel like that means like, so how good are you actually?
Right.
I mean, you can't do anything. I mean, I think the Yankees have the lowest on base percentage in the league. It's under 300.
Oh my gosh.
Dylan Lawson, the embattled hitting coach, said that like, oh, the guys are pressing and doing things out of their normal approach, their normal. I think 2023. Okay, no, go back actually. If you go to MLB, hitting team hitting stats, that should you should be able to sort by on base percentage over to the right, all the way right. On base percentage, 2 over from OPS. Left. There we go. And who do we have at the bottom of this list? It definitely is them.
Oh wow, dude. 28th.
298.
But the Mets 321.
Yeah.
Middle of the pack there, dude.
So you're not like Lawson was saying, they're not taking pitches, they're not getting on base. And I know it's a long season and that there's peaks and valleys in every season. But it's this whole, I mean, I just told you yesterday, we spent like almost the whole show on it. It's a domino effect, starting at the top, and how, Hal just loves, not having to do anything. And just the fact that the value of the organization is rising. And I think the thing that frustrates me most is he can actually make more money by them obviously winning. And in terms of players and payroll, they don't need to spend any more money. They just need to scout better,
right, and
spend the money more smartly. So that's why it's just so frustrating, like doing whatever they're doing right now. I just don't see why they're doing it. Why it's just like Hal is married to the Cashman and Boone combination just because he doesn't have to do anything. But it's like, you're telling me that you can't get anybody else to do the same thing where you could like get to know them, interview them, have them be in that role, and then have them kind of take control and get them from a smart organization like the Dodgers, like the Astros, like the Rays. Like, you can't just do that. Like, the fact that it has to be Cashman, it has to be Boone, and there's like a reluctance to go young. He even said something in the interview like about making the team younger, and he's like, "Oh, this is New York. We want stars." But it's like, besides Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole, and I guess the whole bullpen, excuse me if I'm wrong, but where are the stars? Could you tell me, Tony?
I don't think I can, dude. They're not the Yankees.
Well, so that's what I'm saying, and I'm just, I'm not kidding, Tony. Yesterday I almost teared up talking about this, just because I was saying it's like you want to talk about the last time offensively that we were consistent for an entire season. It was probably 2019. 2020, the COVID season was a disaster. 2021, that one wild card loss to the Red Sox, same thing, the inconsistent offense. Last year, great start to the season, but once the summer came and the playoffs, it was back to the same old thing. And it's like, it's the same problem every single year. And I think the problem is we go into this season and we think Stanton, LeMahieu, Rizzo, Torres are all-star players, and they're quite ordinary players, quite average players, but yet we just keep doing it. So, of course, nothing is going to change. And I'm just worried that, we turn things around this year, make the playoffs, and like usual, bounce way earlier than we should be. And then we just keep running it back. I mean, I know Donaldson will be off the team. Hopefully before the end of the season, he'll be off the team. But they need youth. And I'm just concerned that even if, we call up, Peraza and Florial, but keep the majority of the guys that are here now, because everybody's mid-30s or older, that nothing's going to change unless we make some big trades this season. I mean, honestly, are we offensively doomed this season without any pretty major trades where multiple starting position players are coming to us?
I mean, again, do you think that everyone plays better when Judge is back?
Well, I think one thing yes, he hits, I guess 2 spots behind him, but Stanton,
right?
You look at his splits.
Trash.
Look at his splits since the All-Star game last year. He had a good April this year. Mm-hmm. Every other month he's hitting 100, 200, slugging 300.
Oh my God.
He's saying, he just needs to read pitches quicker. I'm just concerned, is it over for Stanton? And I was saying this to Matt and Michael yesterday. It's like, how can you hit what is it? Is it how many home runs does he have for his career?
Career home runs, 384.
How do you hit almost 400 career home runs and you can't hit water falling out of a boat in the middle of your career?
It seems like he's guessing at the plate. I don't know about you, dude, but it's just
okay. I mean, I see that, but it's let's see here. So, that was good.
Right.
I mean, June,
so
are you 293, Tony?
Yeah, dude. 47 plate appearances.
And like I said, even if these guys are going to improve, even if it's just marginally when Judge comes back, sure, that's great. But I feel like it's just such an indictment of what's happening right now. It's I just have to ask, why are they here?
Mm-hmm. So what at this point is everyone on the table here?
Yeah. Like I said, it's Bader, Judge, Volpe. I'll keep the whole pitching staff. Everyone else I would be in favor of moving.
Jay Bird says his coworker says the Yankees are nothing without Judge, dude.
But it's we don't even have a timetable yet. Florial has 18 homers now, Tony. And we're set on McKinney.
How's
McKinney, the
doing?
Former Met.
Yeah, he's doing well for you?
I don't know. Not really. I mean, pull up his numbers. I mean, I know he hit 1 home run and misplayed a ball in the outfield.
He's been doing that I feel like
he did that on the Mets.
Yeah.
What is he hitting?
286 right now this season.
Yeah, but there's 35 at bats.
Yeah.
And it's we're worried about losing McKinney. We already lost him before. He was already on the scrap heap. So it's we can't take him off the roster to get Florial up.
I think you should.
Because I mean, at least I feel like that would give us a chance. You designate McKinney, you designate Donaldson, and you bring up Florial and Peraza. I mean, it's something different. I don't know. I'm just concerned. Like, yes, I feel like, okay, tonight, for instance, Garrett Cole on the hill, I could see him being jacked up. I could see him.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna be.
But saying it's home, but it's like I was texting this with Mark and Corey, and I was like, but I could see him pitching a complete game shutout and them losing 1-0. Like I've just
really,
and it's like this has been weeks, Tony, of where a run in the first, 2 runs in the first,
done,
nothing the whole game. So I guess what, like they literally have been doing offensively as bad as possible. So that means that by law, like it has to be better. I don't feel good about it. Last time George Kirby pitched against us, 8 shutout innings.
Oof. When was that?
Like the last day of May. So, I mean, what are we talking, 3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's where I'm at. I feel terrible. I'm sick to my stomach watching this. It's really unwatchable. It really, really is. And I feel like, golf is the only saving grace here, whether it's playing or watching the PGA Tour. I guess you start tonight, but I like, even if we get a win, like the Mets got last night over the Astros, I need 2 weeks of every game we're putting up a lot of runs. If I don't see that, I'm just going to expect the same thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree. And, when you look at, you have the Mariners now, you get the Rangers coming after the Mariners, right?
Yeah.
2 really big series. You're bumping into Castillo too, I believe.
Yeah, Castillo tomorrow.
Oh,
that should be fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, you gotta set the tone here again. Like I was just looking at that, the last time that you played Seattle against Kirby, you guys lost 1-0 in 10 innings.
I think that started because before that we had scored a bunch of runs, like 10 runs in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Ever since then, it has not been consistent offense.
I mean, you got to say law of averages, I guess, right? Especially against Kirby too. There's no way Kirby back-to-back starts against the Yankees 8 innings, like no one runs.
I mean, and I know Seattle, has been the model of inconsistency.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 500. I don't know. I just, I guess Bader energy wise is great for him to be back tonight. I haven't officially seen that, but that's been widely expected after not being activated this past weekend. But I mean, just Bader being back right now and keeping the same guys in place, and let's just assume conservatively Judge just returns after the All-Star break. I mean, these, I don't know, roughly there's probably what? So we got 3, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19. So we got 19 games. I mean, are we even going to be 500 going into the All-Star break if it's the same roster just with Bader and no Judge? I mean, can we even go 500 over 19 games the rest of this month and into the second week of July?
Who do you have after Texas?
Oakland. In Oakland, but Oakland's been playing better.
Yeah, I know.
Historically, the Yankees in the Oakland Coliseum don't play well. And then we're playing St. Louis. Firsthand what just happened with them. And, they have those guys that can be good. Then we're home to Baltimore, 4 games with Baltimore. You could see that being a problem. And then we're home to the Cubs. Sure, like whatever. Like maybe we'll do good there. I don't know. I mean, honestly, is there any chance 19 games, even a 13-6 spot?
13-6. I mean, yeah, it's definitely possible. It's actually funny. I was just looking at, again, that rest of the series against Seattle. That was the 3rd game of the series where you lost 1-0. The first 2 games, you scored 20 runs in the first 2 games. 10-2, 10-4 victories. So I could see, honestly, this game being somewhat of a statement. I mean, again, you're looking at who scored. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think Judge was like 3 for 4 in the first game and then 1 for 3 with a dinger in the second game. But other than that, I mean, Isaiah, kind of Falefa was scoring well. Bowers was scoring. Volpe hit a dinger too. I mean, I feel like these are, I feel like it's something where the Yankees kind of take a stand, like, hey, like we can score, like we've done it here before. I think this is going to be like you take 2 out of 3 from Seattle here, and then you can start from there, and then you can get to your 13-6 spot over 19 games.
Let's hope.
Right? Because do you know what pitchers you're facing against Texas?
Oh, I was just looking at this.
I mean, DeGrom's out, obviously. Eovaldi, you've seen him implode before, and I feel like maybe in the past he's pitched well against the Yankees, but sometimes he's gotten popped by the Yankees too.
So it's Dunning.
Okay, Dane Dunning.
Gray, that's John Gray.
Yeah.
And then Andrew Heaney versus Garrett Cole next Sunday.
All right. So, I mean, you got to feel pretty good about that. Dane Dunning, I know, has this decent ERA, I think.
Yeah. Gray, I mean, is a guy that you should be able to hit, regardless if he's having a good season or not. He's a contact pitcher. I don't know. And then also, and I know, like I said, I know it's a conversation we could have forever. And hopefully, these next 6 games against them, can we just go 4-2, please? Like, that's all I want. But just a part of me just feels like I'm worried that it's not possible to get over the hump with Cashman and Boone.
Like in terms of like trying to fire them or of them?
No. I'm saying until they're gone.
Right.
I'm worried that we're not going to get where we want to get.
Just because you don't think Cashman's going to make the necessary moves, he's just going to keep running this back.
He makes terrible moves, and there's no accountability. There's no accountability out of Boone. So it's like, I mean, how can we be confident that this trade deadline is going to be good? Think about last trade deadline. Frankie Montas, Scott Efros, Andrew Benintendi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Benintendi.
He was terrible, and then he missed the playoffs. I don't want to sing the blues, but I just think I'm just tired of offensively being embarrassed. I just feel like we can't shake that for an elongated period of time.
Yeah.
DJ's cooked. He's a backup, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Glaber is nowhere near what we were expecting out of him. And even though Rizzo and Santa can get on fire, they're so embarrassingly bad when they're not that it almost counteracts itself.
Yeah, it does.
So
who do you want?
What do you mean? Like to add to the team?
Yeah, who do you want to go for?
Soto.
Really?
Yep. We need a younger guy.
Who are you giving up?
Everybody. I mean, it's like, really though, too. I mean, we talked about this, but Austin Wells is crushing it in the minors. You think about three players. You add Wells, Florial, and Peraza. I would love to see that played out first, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't think he wants to cut Donaldson, but that would probably help or at least give you a chance.
Right.
But I'm just disgusted looking at this lineup and the fact that it's like every year, we have the Mike Tauchmans, the Willie Calhoun, the Jake Bowers, the Billy McKinney. This is the Yankees we're talking about, and we're talking names, Tony, that should be on a AAA roster.
Yeah. With
a bloated payroll. I don't know. It's just so tough to get past. And, I guess, I'm going to predict that they're going to win tonight. But boy, do I need to see it to have any type of confidence. So, looking at this game specifically, I do think Cole will answer the bell. He's probably so sick of this. He came here with one idea in mind and one idea to win a World Series title. So I think he'll give us 7 scoreless, 12 strikeouts. And judging by the way the offense is gone, I think we're going to win 3-0. And it'll be tough to get those 3 runs. Maybe it's all on one swing from Harrison Bader. Maybe 5th, 6th inning. And then the bullpen does the job. That's how I see us win this game. Win's a win. Win's a win, great. But I think we're going to see some low scoring games the first 2 games of this series, against Kirby and Castillo. But we hope, we get a win, and then maybe, we're facing in the finale an inexperienced pitcher in Brian Wu, 23 years old, 0-1, 7.30. So hopefully we hammer him. But yeah, give me the Yankees 3-0. And before we get to your pick, just want to update everybody, on the pick standings here. Tony, once again, well out ahead. I was explaining, the Mets great during the week, struggle on the weekend. Yankees just bat all the time, so that's why he's up 21-16. What do you see happening with the Mets tonight?
So obviously, I mean, you mentioned it. The Mets, Verlander, I think, absolute gem spot. Let's go back-to-back starting games where our starters go 8 innings, starting for the first time this season, as I mentioned, before. Verlander, I think 8 innings. I think he has a no-hitter, honestly. Going into the 7th here, gives up maybe a hit there. But final line, I think, is going to be 8 innings. It's just the 1 hit, no walks, striking out 12 batters, Brian. And on top of that, I think the offense will kind of continue here. I think Lindor is going to stay hot. He had 5 RBIs last night. Let's get Lindor hot. Tommy Pham still hot. Pete Alonso with his first home run since back from the IL in the 2nd inning. He's going to be a solo shot for his, I guess, 23rd of the season then. And then Lindor, I think, top of the 5th will be a little bit of a run for the Mets. I think, leadoff runner on Brendan Nimmo, finally showing he can get a hit. But after that, maybe Lindor with McNeil on, gets a couple RBIs there. Tommy Pham comes up, a couple more RBIs, brings in Lindor. Like I said, big 5th inning for the Mets. They go on to win this game. I'm going to say 6-0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now you get the 6-0 victory. Then where are you?
Then it's like, let's fucking go to the World Series right now. Put us there right now.
That really, though, eliminates all the semblance of doubt for you.
No, of course not, because the back end of the rotation is like Carrasco, McGill, Senga. Yeah, exactly. So it's like you still want to see some good stuff out of those guys still. But it's just nice to know, again, that you can be like, all right, we got our first 2 starters. Like, this is almost surefire victories because they're dominant. But we're taking a day at a time. One day at a time here, Brian.
One day at a time. Team that's been red hot and really beat up on the Dodgers over the weekend, sweeping them, is the San Francisco Giants. They beat the Padres last night. Your guy, Anthony DeScalfani, on the hill versus your other guy, Seth Lugo. Let's face it, like the rest of the Padres, has been mediocre this year, 4.10 ERA. And actually, let's see. So they were working on an 8-game winning streak. Let's make it 9. I think DeScalfani dominates that inconsistent Padre offense. And I want to say the Giants are going to win this one 6-1.
Love it, dude. This other game I'm looking at here is a game between 2 pretty piss poor teams here. Oh, what?
No, I just saw something. I kind of wanted to if we take a pause just one second.
What do you got?
I want to see this. I haven't even seen it, but it's on ESPN.com. Yastrzemski hit a walk-off into McCovey Cove. I haven't seen one go into McCovey since Barry Bonds.
Happened like last night?
Yeah.
Hours ago.
Yep. Let's see it.
There's an ad.
BK.
When's the last time you had BK?
Over 5 years.
Really?
Maybe 10.
Wow, dude. Good for you.
Never was a big BK guy. No.
That's too bad.
Dutch's, Wendy's.
No, yeah, true.
Chick-fil-A.
All right, let's pause it here. Let's full screen it here.
Let's bring it back a second. Let's get the BK soundbite in there.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Give me. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh my God. Oh wow.
That's awesome.
That is sick.
Wow. I really did not expect the Giants to turn it around like this.
They're hyped. That's crazy. Mike
sweeping the-
Yastrzemski, dude.
Yeah, we had that really good year a couple years ago. Kind of struggled.
Is he from Connecticut?
I don't know. I just know he's the grandson of Yaz, the former Red Sox outfielder.
I don't want the walk off again.
I want to say no though.
From Massachusetts,
Yep.
Andover, not too far from here.
No.
They're pretty high. Are they going to show the replay of it? Like, give me some slow mo here.
Or you could run it back, I guess.
Yeah.
they're going
no,
Soto.
Han Soto now. Fox
Oh,
Sports.
no,
Fuck
no,
you,
that's
dude.
it,
Wow,
that's
it's
it,
over.
That's it. But it's surprising what they're doing, and it's like these powerhouse teams are struggling. The Yankees, the Dodgers, obviously the Mets, and we know they had a nice one last night. The Astros. I mean, it is a lot of teams that you expected to be pretty good that are struggling.
Yes. No, yeah, there are a lot. It's ridiculous, dude.
So
I know. Who would have thought Miami does as well as they do? I know you thought
Texas.
so, but I didn't think, Texas was going to be as good as they are, dude. Even Baltimore, too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The Rays. I know that they didn't even make the playoffs last year, the Rays.
Yeah.
All of a
It's
sudden,
ridiculous.
they walk on water.
Fucking sweet.
What do you got for number two? Number two.
All right, for number two here, I totally forgot what game I was even talking about.
It was worth it to see the McCovey Cove.
It really was. Two shitty teams. Kansas City, Detroit, maybe?
Dylan Lynch.
Yeah. Give me Michael
Lorenzen.
Lorenzen. Yeah, Lorenzen. Give me Lorenzen. Why not here? Against the Royals. Royals on a 3-game losing streak, I believe, right now. 8-game road skid. And then Tigers obviously are at home. They beat Kansas City game 1 yesterday, I think 6-4. They're on a 2-game victory. Lorenzen, you would think, could hold it down against the Royals. So give me Detroit. I'm going to say they beat the Royals again 5-3.
All right. Third and final, going with your buddy Strider versus the Phillies in Philadelphia. Suarez on the hill for them. And I think Strider's got kind of lit up his last couple times out. But I think he's due to turn it around. And the Braves, I mean, they've had the most consistent health of any team all season.
Yeah.
The offense is churning, whether it's Olsen, whether it's Acuna, whoever is up there, Albies, Harris, they're producing. So I think they're going to produce tonight. I think Strider's going to dominate. So give me the Braves here. I'm going to say 7-2 in Philadelphia.
Love it, dude. My third and final pick here on the bounce back. Give me the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw on the mound. I understand Dodgers. You're just mentioning us up by the Giants. However, I just think Kershaw against Reed Detmers. I think it's going to be an absolute pitching duel here, to be honest. But I'm going to say Freddie Freeman, top of the 9th, solo shot, puts the Dodgers up 2-1. Dodgers close it out, and the Battle of LA here for the first time this season. Game 1, go to the Dodgers. Let's go.
I was just thinking about this with the way the Angels have been playing. All of a sudden, they're ahead of the Astros in the standings.
Yeah.
Any level of concern on your part, keep improving, make the playoffs, that Ohtani wants to stay put.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he does, dude.
It's unbelievable, though,
Yeah.
like how they're doing this. I mean, we saw how bad they were. They keep Nevin, which was a surprise to many of us. I guess they're pitching well, but Tyler Anderson, I mean, I know he pitched well last start, but overall, I mean, he's not. Are they just outscoring teams? That's why their record is so good.
I guess it seems like I remember last week when we looked up the bullpen stats, they had one of the lowest bullpen ERAs in the league.
Yeah.
So I think their bullpen's doing well. And then again, like you have Ohtani, like every night. He's leading the league in home runs now, no?
Yeah, he is.
So
he's got 24 home runs, hitting 300.
Yeah.
Trout's got 15, hitting a very unlike Trout-like 257. And really, I mean, I guess Renfroe has 12 home runs. Drury has 12 home runs. Rendon back on the injured list. So it just seems like, he's
I know,
not
that's
getting
tough
it together.
Dude. Gio Urshela plays third base for them.
Not much pop, but he's hitting for a decent average this year.
299 he's at.
Yeah. I've always been a big fan of Gio. Yeah. And then, pitching wise, I mean, Detmer's ERA is 4.48, Canning's 4.40, Anderson's 5.64, and Sandoval's 4.08. But I guess the bullpen, has done the job. Estevez, has done an outstanding job. 19 saves, 40 strikeouts in 31 innings. So I guess, once you get to that bullpen, they're doing well.
Yeah.
And then I just saw in here, former Met great Aaron Loop struggling a little bit, 5.40.
Really that bad?
Yeah.
Oof, yeah.
And I think last year
20
was
games.
just like not that good either.
It was like
a
a 3-something
after that historic ERA with the Mets the season before. So
I know, crazy.
looks like they may have dodged a bullet there. But do you expect this to continue and them to break this playoff drought?
Honestly, yeah, dude. It really doesn't seem like they're stopping at all. Ohtani is just he's batting 300 through this much of the season. He's got 10 stolen bags too. I mean,
but then who gets left out? Just if the division leaders hold, we're talking wild card. You got 3 spots, and you have the Orioles, the Angels, the Yankees, the Astros, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and the Mariners. Who gets it out of those 3?
Sorry, say that again. Who gets it out of?
So there's 6 teams here.
Yeah.
3 of them can make it: Orioles, Angels, Yankees, Astros, Blue Jays, Red Sox, or Mariners. I guess 7, but 3 teams can make it. I mean, I'm guessing you're not thinking the Red Sox are going to make it, so you call it 6 with the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think the Blue Jays.
Or the Mariners. Okay, it would be, yeah. So let's just say Mariners, Blue Jays, Astros, Yankees, Orioles, Angels.
Blue Jays out.
Blue Jays out. I mean, I guess technically
Mariners
out.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically the Rangers could collapse, but I don't know. I just feel like they're so high up with the record at this point.
Yeah, I don't think so. They're 45-27 right now. Yeah.
So, I mean, Orioles, Angels, Yankees, Astros. That's if you cut it down to those 4, one team's got to be on the outside looking in.
Yeah. Yankees?
Really?
Maybe the Orioles late collapse.
Big collapse.
Wait, they don't know. Late in the season, they don't have the experience.
I mean, of all these teams, I mean, I think the Angels have collapsed the most.
I know.
But I mean, in that pitching, the rotation, I mean, you would think that would eventually catch up to them.
Yeah, I wonder if they make a push for anyone at the trade deadline.
Yeah. If you could bring in like an Alcantara or something, that would be crazy.
Alcantara's not pitching well.
Or Cease. No, but I'm saying this is the time. Value's down. Because I just have a hard time believing that those 2 guys, as dominant as they've been, that they can no longer be an ace. I don't see that. I think maybe the situations aren't ideal.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
And really, other than that, Tony, and I know you've had to deal with enough disgust of your own with the Mets this year. Everything I've said about the Yankees, I mean, do you agree with it? Are my concerns valid, or do you really truly believe that this is just the low point in the season and that the runs are going to start coming and these guys aren't going to embarrass themselves like they have the past couple of weeks?
I think the runs will start coming. They've been here before. I honestly do think that when Judge comes back, what you said where, these batters in the lineup are getting pitched to differently.
Right.
They really are. Again, like those 2 games against Seattle that I looked at, I mean, Judge is totally dominant in both those games. So of course it's going to affect everyone else. And I think with him back, I just think that morale in general is going to be better. And I think that the entire team as a whole is going to be better. It's tough for me to still be like, to not say like, oh, like you're going to make the playoffs. But then again, just like last season, like early exit, they certainly need to acquire a couple like extra pieces here.
Yeah. And I guess it's really tough to say, who those pieces are going to be, just because, with the extra wild card spot, there's just so many teams that are in it. And like, let's say the Marlins go on a little bit of a tough stretch, like Soler has 21 home runs, but is he like the prime example of a guy you don't want to bring in because it's all home run or nothing?
Yeah, a little bit. If the Angels were trying to get rid of Rendon, would you take him?
No, he's injured again.
I know he's still injured, but if you can keep him healthy, I mean, he's like when he was playing really well.
I don't want him. And then I've talked about the whole youth movement thing You think Arenado would be idiotic for the Yankees to get or no?
I mean, no, it's not idiotic.
It might hurt like
Down the stretch, you're saying?
or like in a couple years, but rest of this year, potentially playoffs, it could make a huge difference.
You can get 3 very good years out of Arenado
at 32.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's tempting. I mean, you just think about the difference in the lineup in the field because I know, Donaldson, but no one, I think we can say safely.
Arenado's
But
so
they're
fucking
not
good.
every year's winning the Gold Glove.
Yeah.
Every year.
The guy can barehand like anything. It's ridiculous.
So maybe that's a thought. We'll have to see. But I just want to be excited about my baseball team again.
Yeah.
And I know you do too. And I know, last night is a
Getting there a little
step, but
Yeah.
you need to see it over an elongated period of time.
Oh yeah.
Is it like, did you ever expect like the situation to be what it is for like collectively both teams at this point in the year?
No.
Like not even in your wildest thoughts.
I was thinking like both like leading the division, if not like fighting.
Not double digits games back, both of them.
No, not at all.
Clinging on to a wild card, the Yankees, the Mets. I think it's 5 games back of the third wild card, 12 games back in the division. I mean, I guess it's like you look at who's ahead of them. I mean, I don't think the Cubs are going to make the playoffs. I don't think the Pirates are going to make the playoffs.
No.
I don't think the Brewers are going to make the playoffs. But you have to catch up to the Phillies, the Marlins, the Dodgers, the Giants. I'm really interested to see what happens with the Padres.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I don't know. It seems like they're a team that can kind of leapfrog some people. But I mean, again, you look at them. I mean, 6-4 in their last 10, plus 21 run differential too.
Soto, I think, has been hitting better lately.
I mean, I just feel like Darvish has not been what they expected him to be. Musgrove even too.
Right.
And obviously we know what Snell is. It's tough, dude.
I mean, just complete mediocrity.
How's Hader doing?
Hader's great.
Yeah, he's been lights out.
Yeah. That was, of all those big moves, I mean, that was probably the best one.
And it's funny because a lot of people like doubted him a lot.
I think it's a 1.27 ERA. 1 home run allowed to Mookie Betts. Michael Wacha pitching out of his mind.
It's crazy. Team batting.
Yeah, Wacha last time out, actually yesterday, 6 innings, 2 runs. Didn't strike anybody out, which is kind of weird, but ERA at a comfy 2.90.
That's pretty solid. 2.90. You said?
Yeah. But like, even if it was for like basically nothing or nobody that you even know of, would you be so tight if the Mets required him? If the Padres are out of it?
Yeah.
You just can't do it.
Yeah, I feel like I was looking at their lineup stats. Machado
everybody's struggling.
248. Yeah, last season he was batting like 290.
Bogart's another guy, 261.
Yeah.
Kim,
great.
250. Cronenworth, 212. Tatis, I guess, is probably
284
having the best season out of everybody.
14 home runs. Yeah. No,
what a surprise. Matt Carpenter hitting
too.
181.
Yeah,
I knew that was done. Cruz is too old. I can't believe they have Odor.
I know. Oh my God, dude.
Gary struggling again.
Sanchez.
But only been a couple games. I mean, he's still collectively with the home runs has been good, but
still, yeah, their bench is a little tough, dude.
Yeah, it is. It is.
They need a DH.
They were hoping that Cruz and Carpenter could split it, but handle it. Collectively, it's just the numbers aren't there.
Yeah, it's tough, dude.
But I mean, you would think some heads are gonna roll if they don't turn this around.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's all the money. Oh my God, star power.
It's ridiculous.
And this is Soto's last year of his contract, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I would love Juan Soto in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Yep. $23 million 1-year deal. Be 20. It'll turn 25 like in the World Series Actually, no. Okay, it's 25 this year, so turn 26 end of next year. So that's your youth. I don't care what the contract is. Figure it out.
He turns 26 end of this
25 the end of this year.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He's
You're right.
24
You're right.
October.
Dude, that's crazy. Only 1 year deal, dude. Yeah, he's getting out of there.
Yeah,
For sure, dude.
But it's geez. I mean,
should go to the Mets.
He's always hit well at City.
We could really use an outfielder, dude.
Yeah.
Especially Marte. Marte's on the outs.
Well, and it's just those type of guys don't hit free agency often.
Yeah.
And like you think about, like last year with like Bogarts and Swanson and Turner, like those were the best guys available. But you know what I mean? Like they're not guys that are going to win an MVP. So it's just like the fact that Soto is available, you have to take advantage of that
you really
opportunity. Did you see David Ortiz was like talking smack, saying that like it was insane that Soto didn't accept the $500 million from Washington last year?
Really?
And it's like he's improved recently. I mean, I think he's gonna get this at least the same contract. I mean, if he ends up with like 30 home runs, it's 265.
Nationals like one of the last teams in the NL.
He's just saying, "Oh, he could have been like the face of the franchise and all that." But it's like,
come on, dude. Like, why would you want to stay there though? Yeah. Stop it, dude.
Yeah,
you guys had that Cinderella miracle run. You won the World Series. That's great. And then now they're not.
And I think more of it was a dollar cent thing, but. I mean, I think he's going to heat up. He hasn't been like red hot in a long time.
You bring him into Queens, dude.
Yeah, he's hit well. So
would you rather have him or Ohtani?
Ohtani.
Yeah, but like knowing that it's going to be more money, more to give. Like it's going to be tougher to get him.
Well, I guess he's younger, isn't he? Isn't Ohtani like 27, 28?
I don't know. I thought they were around the same age. I thought. Oh my gosh.
28, yeah. So, 3 years younger. But it's funny, even though it kind of doesn't make sense, but I guess it does. And I know his numbers are better, but I almost would rather have Soto if it was just hitting.
Yeah.
But the pitch, I mean,
obviously,
it's insane. It's insane to have that.
But like knowing like it's probably gonna be tougher to get Ohtani than it is to be Soto. I mean,
yeah. And I think he wants to be on the West Coast, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But then, because I don't think Epler will be like part of the free agency touring next year.
I don't think so.
So interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said, and I know you feel the same way, I'm ready to be excited about my baseball team again.
Oh yeah, me too, dude.
I just want it to be where I'm just dying. I don't want to miss 1 second of the action, and not that I'm scared to check my phone because they're down 5-0 in the third.
Oh, are you gonna be?
No, just because Cole's pitching. But I don't know, Tony. I really have a tough time thinking that they're going to score more than 3 tonight. I hope they do. I hope they score 10. But my prediction is 3. What's your prediction?
How many runs the Yankees score?
Yeah.
Say 4.
I guess we're getting better.
Yeah.
What do we have coming up on Screen Time?
Screen Time, dude. Great episode. I'm going through my watch list. I don't know if you saw.
Is this Solo Dolo or no?
Yeah, another Solo Dolo
show.
Go. Yeah, dude. It's gonna be hyped up. A lot of talk about who the next Batman's gonna be too. So we're gonna break down, who the rumors are, who I think should be playing Batman.
I saw you're tight on Keno and Wick.
Yeah, dude.
That's next year, or that already came out. I don't know. I thought you said 2024, but no, it's John Wick 4.
John Wick 4.
Okay, when did that come out?
I don't know, maybe like last month.
Oh, okay.
Watched it on Sunday with my parents.
Oh, you watched it Sunday for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Watch list means like
this past
weekend or whatever you watched it. Okay. I was surprised though because I feel like Keno, like it seems like he has a cult following, but I'm guessing, and I know you'll talk about it on the show. But the problem is that like they took it too far. It's like getting like Fast and Furious, the same thing. How many times do you need to see it? It gets more ridiculous every time. I mean, right or no?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, by the 4th one, it's just like, come on, dude. Like it's the same story.
Yeah.
And it's Keanu.
At this point, Tony, does it even matter?
Keno, you just want to go gamble or something, dude.
No, I've never played Keno.
You ever played Keno?
No.
It's kind of fun.
I guess it could be.
It's a good way to like gamble money.
You know what's fun though? Winning the World Series, Tony.
That is fun. You can gamble on that.
that seems like a great bet right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really, really, I mean, I'm trying to feel it, Tony, that tomorrow, I mean, we got the Travelers preview coming up, and that we could just talk about two dominant performances from both New York teams, tons of runs scored, tons of optimism.
All of it.
Let's go. All right. So let's get that done, America. But that being said, I'd really, really like to thank everybody today for tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee in costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy screen time. Let's go Yankees.
Go Mets.
And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.